In this video, we're going to be discussing 6 individual decks that I personally used to take to Infinite this season. These decks offered me a very good win rate, a very good cube rate, and ultimately made the Infinite climb a very straightforward progression. I would suggest that you make tech adjustments as the meta shifts on going through the season, but ultimately I do believe that these decks are capable of getting you to Infinite as well. I'm also going to be doing something a little different as well. After I describe and introduce each deck, I'm also going to show you a gameplay example that was recorded live on Twitch TV to give you an example of how it's piloted and how it can win cubes for you. But before we get started, if you'd like to support the series, I'd appreciate if you hit the like button. Let's actually get started here. So Miles Morales is on the screen. That's because Miles is a core component of one of the best decks of the current meta, and I'm calling it Bolt and Stature. And essentially this deck here is should be no surprise to you guys because it's all over the meta right now. Essentially the core use of it here is you have Black Bolt. You basically play Black Bolt on turn 5. It makes Stature a 1 cost, which allows you to play a value card or a tech card like Shang-Chi or Enchantress. And what you're supposed to do as well is move Jeff or Nightcrawler if you don't have Jeff on turn 5, which allows Miles Morales to become a 1 cost as well. So functionally on turn 6, you have a 1 cost Stature, a 1 cost Miles Morales, Shang-Chi and Enchantress usually available as well. So you have like an answer to their tech, and then you have outright power with Miles Morales and Stature. So this deck is phenomenal. I had an incredible win rate with it, and one of the reasons why I climbed so successfully this season was because of the overall strength of this list. If you don't have Nebula, you can put someone in like Sunspot or Iceman. Jeff is easily replaceable by the by Nightcrawler. Unfortunately, if you don't have Black Bolt or Stature, which is a Series 4 card, you're missing kind of a core package here, and it ultimately becomes a bit of a different deck. Let's take a look at a gameplay highlight. I'm Corgan as well. We'll do this. We got Jeff the Shark. I like Jeff. We don't need to gamble here like that. I went for the gamble play anyway. Miles Morales gets some free value out of Miles Morales there. So actually, it looks like it's a mirror match. It looks like a mirror match, but he doesn't have Jeff. That's why he has Nightcrawler in his deck. In this situation, I think we have to play Stature. We have Shang-Chi. So perhaps we can give up the initiative. It's Black Bolt, it's the Rock. Yeah, so it's the exact same deck here. We have turn initiative now, unfortunately. He's going to have Stature plus a drop. I have Jeff plus a drop. I'm up in 2 locations. 6 versus 4. He can also move Nightcrawler, right? So he's going to move Nightcrawler left. Which means we probably do something like this. If he moves Nightcrawler, this location comes down. He drops a card here to gap it. We try to go mid. It's risky. Yeah, see? Yeah, okay. Yep. Very clean win. So that was a pure read. That was a pure read there. To complete my climb to Infinite this season, I actually used an adjusted version of the deck we just spoke about. This one called Iron Bolt. The idea here is you still have the Black Bolt, Stature, Miles Morales combination with Jeff or Nightcrawler. You have the Zabu for the straightforward turn 4 and 3 plays with the 4 costs. But notably, you have the inclusion of Iron Lad, which is the new Series 5 card. Now, obviously, a bit of a paywall here, but Iron Lad in conjunction with the Doctor Doom is fantastic. Doctor Doom gives you a lot of additional reach with Jeff and Miles Morales. You also get the disruption of Polaris, but most importantly, if you Iron Lad as a 4/6 and you hit that Black Bolt kind of synergy, you're discarding multiple key elements of their hand, and it can be very disruptive. And also, of course, you still have the Miles Morales Stature combination in conjunction with a 4-cost tech card. Now here, you do not have the Enchantress or the Shang-Chi. So you have the option of playing Darkhawk on turn 3, and you can actually take out the Polaris and put something in like a Cosmo to protect the Darkhawks, because you can play a Rock Slide on turn 6 in conjunction with Stature or Miles Morales. Moreover, you can finish turn 6 with a very straightforward Doctor Doom even if you have Iron-Ladded the Doctor Doom already. So there's quite a few things going on with this particular list. It's a little more expensive than the one prior, which is overall an expensive archetype, but overall it had a very impressive win rate and it ultimately helped me get to Infinite. All right, we have a lot of cards here. Very nice is what you want to see. Oh, they just helloed back. Hello. Hello, friend. All right, it's going to be a Zebu here. Yeah, it's not a great location for Darkhawk for sure. But this list doesn't like rely wholly on Darkhawk. Thankfully. Darkhawk's like a pleasant splash. You know? And Darkhawk should be able to win Asgard. Do we really draw through our whole... We can't let him draw, though. That's the problem. We really can't let him draw here. Because then it really ruins us. I remember when I started playing, I didn't know about the bots. I kept telling my wife, man, I'm so good at Marvel Snap. That has like the game that reminds me... Okay, thank you. Do we snap Morales Darkhawk? And Nebula can still run up that location. We should be able to get this Darkhawk out. The problem is that we won't have anything for Iron Lad, really, so we both get a 6. I get Arnim Zola, lol. Okay. He's short. Well, he can move Jeff. He snapped back. I see. I friggin' knew it. Doesn't matter. I suspected as much. We have nothing in our deck, so Iron Lad's useless. He has to move Jeff play mid to win. We have to gap Enchantress here. So I think it's all left in Stature right, so if he plays a solo Enchantress, we win. This is 8 cubes, though. He moves Jeff. Polaris pulls. We're adding 7 power here. It's not an easy 8. We have the advantage. I hope he just plays Enchantress right. It's a solo Enchantress right. Solo Enchantress right. Let's go! We actually called it straight up! 8 cubes, baby! Let's go! Unbelievable win! 8 cubes! Sera Control continues to be one of my absolute favorite archetypes in the meta, and it's relatively inexpensive compared to the list that we just spoke about. If you purchased Hitmonkey in the prior season pass, then you'll have access to this card and the wonder that is Sera Control in this particular edition. Now, the core synergies here are Angela, Bishop, Mysterio, and Hitmonkey. Usually you want a Hitmonkey on turn 6 with Mysterio. Bishop can be on the board. Killmonger Nova is fantastic, especially against all the Nebulas that are unarmored right now. You have a counter of Galactus in Polaris. You have the Shang-Chi Enchantress Control, and of course, Sera itself. There's a lot to love in this list. You get carried by the Angela and Bishop, and although Scarlet Witch will troll you on occasion, ultimately it becomes a very good card that allows you to control some location variants to your advantage. But overall, Sera Control continues to be one of my favorite decks in the meta, and as you'll see in this gameplay highlight, it's capable of just remarkably stealing cubes. Oh, nice. They got rid of the Stature. We actually have not seen a lot of the Stature deck, and now we're seeing it non-stop. It's the only thing we're seeing now. Yeah, Raze, I think it was close on that last one. I think that there was definitely potential to win there. Shit, do I skip here? Can't believe we just got a rock. I think we can win mid. I think he plays a card here, a big card, or whatever. I don't know what the hell he's going to play. I think we do this. This gives us a shot. So Darkhawk goes left, which makes sense. Enchantress. Now with the Mysterio play, do we gap with the Hitmonkey? It's kind of close. We win right. We're going to be just short. Oh my god, we won by 1. Oh my gosh. Oh my god, by 1. That is crazy. It should come to no surprise to you if you've been listening to me on the Snapchat or listening to my decks of the week that I'm absolutely a huge fan of Discard. And this is the version of Discard that I took to Infinite this season. I played hundreds of games of Discard. I absolutely loved it. It was one of my go-tos when I'm like, I just want to be competitive and I want to have a reliable deck that I actually thoroughly enjoy playing. The win rate of this is slightly lower than the Stature Bolt list, but I think this is a little more timeless. Yes, I have the Jeff in here, which is a little expensive, but you can sub it out with any variety of cards of your choice, right? Nebula can be subbed out for Sunspots or even, of course, Iceman as well. I do love the control element of Storm, playing Dracula into that location or storming the Morbius to deny them that. It's just a very consistent deck. The discard mechanics you have the Calling Wing, which is a consistent discard. You have Lady Sif, which is a consistent discard. And of course, MODOK is a consistent discard as well. And as MODOK lowers in series, it becomes more accessible to more players. If you don't have MODOK, you can consider running Hellcow instead. Doesn't quite do the same thing, but it's close. Regardless, right, turn 6, you're playing Chavez down and you're allowing the Dracula to hit the Apocalypse, and MODOK would have cleared your hand on turn 5. If you don't have that combination on turn 5 and you have a weak board state, you usually don't gamble because your Dracula's going to hit nothing. You don't want it hitting a swarm, so you usually are going to be retreating. The one thing I really like about Discard is that the retreating patterns are really straightforward. If you don't have your combo, if Dracula's not going to hit Apocalypse, you know, if Morbius isn't sitting safe behind Storm, you'd probably leave. So I think it has a very clear perspective of how to win cubes, as you'll see in this gameplay example. All right, guys, let's get to Infinite tonight. We're doing it. We're getting to Infinite tonight. Losing Swarm feels bad, especially with MODOK in hand. But it's all right. I think I'm going to play Nebula here, because I don't think he wants to.
First ever card purchase was Jeff this morning. Living up to your hype for sure.
That's fantastic. I'm telling you, I think Jeff's awesome. I really do think Jeff's awesome. I like Jeff a lot. Do I storm this right now? No, I pump this. They just keep rotating cards in. You guys saying snap back here? Is Death Wave? So he's going to play Death. Did he draw Death, though? He gets a Death +1 for 8. Always believe in the heart of the cards. Always have faith. Do the math. And believe, my friends. On a recent episode of the Snapchat, Cozy and I discussed how Sera is one of the best cards in the game that enables so many different combos, and this deck is no different. With the recently buffed Luke Cage, you're getting an opportunity to play the Luke Cage Hazmat combo that everybody is just jonesing for, with a Sera Miracle Touch. Now, I absolutely love this list, particularly because of my inclusion of Omega Red. I took so many players by surprise with Omega Red. I had a very high win rate with this deck because of the Omega Red inclusion, because the turn 6 Hazmat Luke Cage splash with Killmonger Nova basically gives you a situation where like you're able to really create a delta between the power of the Omega Red location, allowing your opponent or allowing your Omega Red to offset that 10 power and add 4 power across the board, which is absolutely insane. So I really do like this list a lot. You also have the Enchantress to take out the Typhoid Mary if you wish. Luke Cage works wonderfully with the negative ongoing effect of Lizard. Maximus is just a very high impact card that you can stack on top of Omega Red, so you can do something like a Lizard Maximus Omega Red and follow that up with a Typhoid Mary with Luke Cage Hazmat turn 6, right? It's pretty wild what you're able to do. It's insane. And ultimately, I do think that this deck can catch people by surprise. It has a great win rate, not as high as the Stature one, but still very respectful. It does take some practice piloting. Like, you can't just play like 3 games and you're like, oh man, I lost 3 games. It has like a very nuanced play pattern. That's one of the disadvantages. It's a little more complex, but once you get the hang of it, it can be really rewarding. Mojo World. Playing Nova into Mojo World is probably too risky because we're going to want to destroy it at one point. We actually have not destroyed Nova yet in the last few games. Killmonger's just been eerily absent from our deck, you know, which is sad. It's very sad. Oh, Morb put directly on Mojo World, which is actually kind of weird. We're getting draw screwed right now. Okay. That's kind of sad. Well, I just complained that he hadn't been destroyed yet, so here we are. It's a lot of power to put on Mojo World. We just don't have cards right now. Okay. I think we can Enchantress. Brings back Swordmaster. I think we Enchantress Omega Red. Or what do we do here? No. We Omega Red, Killmonger. No matter what happens to Morbius, Blade dies, we get 100 points, we spread the power across, and we should just win like this. This should cleanly win, because no matter Omega Red's going to proc across the board, he's not going to be able to compete Fist Tower, we're going to win this location. This is the cleanest win possible. I don't see how he wins this game. That does nothing. Because now we get, yeah, this is the cleanest Omega Red win of all time. That was never going to win. No hope whatsoever. Very clean. One of the reasons why I got to Infinite so fast this season was because of this deck, collecting cubes. I had like an 80% win rate on it during a stream. It was absolutely remarkable. And although I didn't play that many games, it just carried me. And I don't think people really expected the play pattern of like me dropping something like a Collector turn 2, a Devil Dinosaur turn 5 on top of the Cosmo to protect it, and then Nick Fury in another lane, which basically is a 5/7, which isn't bad. I think it should be a 5/8, but anyways. And the Nick Fury runs up 3 power on the Collector and basically 6 power on the Devil Dinosaur. Like, no one accounts for the Nick Fury play, and I kept catching people by surprise there. You got the good card of Dr. Doom, and ultimately, the one thing I think this deck was missing, honestly, I feel like it was missing a little bit of tech. It was awkward, right? Because like, I think the White Queen spot could be a tech card. You could get White Queen, and I think you can change this White Queen into a Shang-Chi, which can be a little awkward with the armor and the Cosmo, but it's possible. You could also change the White Queen into an Enchantress, which could be a little awkward around Cosmo. Not necessarily the armor, but obviously around your Devil Dinosaur and your Mystique, perhaps. It was one of those decks that I felt awkward to sneak the tech in. So that's why, like, I think that this is still a work in progress. So, like, if you think the list looks cool and you want to experiment with it, definitely do so. I do think you need to put some tech in somehow, and I'm still working on a more refined list, I'll be honest with you. But I do think that it has potential. I think I'm going to be releasing a video on it soon as well. But regardless, I just want you guys to know that I appreciate all your support. We got another gameplay example coming. Hit the like button if you like this series, and I look forward to getting to Infinite in future seasons and sharing my list with you. Thanks for watching, guys. We're going to go Quinjet mid. X-Mansion, we're going to get absolutely trolled. Oh, Nebula's getting free value. Kind of sad. Love that armor variant. Love it. Look at that. Such a good variant. Sometimes I get so jelly of the really, really good variants, you know? We can access Luke Bar with Doctor Doom. We got to be very careful with our placement of something like a Cosmo. It's Groot. They're playing Guardians of the Galaxy against us. Sandman's kind of interesting here. Lol. LOL? Oh my god, no! Why? Why is it friggin' Mr. Negative from X-Mansion? He snaps, man. Man, we can play Luke's Bar. If I had Devil Dinosaur, this game's easy. He's gonna run out of space. I can't draw here. He fills the look. Yeah, it's Jeff. If we pull Devil, it's good. Oh my god, yes! Has to be Doom on 6. I think we have to play Devil Dinosaur here to obviously protect. I think we Dino right because Doctor Doom does win left. And this doesn't look like a Doctor Doom list, right? Yeah, I hadn't considered that Fury left will not bounce back. If they had a clean play, they would have done it by now. They're trying to win just straight up with Jeff. I don't think they can beat us. Right. They have 4 in their hand. It's Nick Fury left. He's sticking. He's landing. If they put up 17 power right, they deserve to win. Oh my gosh. Yes! Let's go! Let's give him the fist bump. Nick Fury! Let's go!